So we're like 20-something games into the NBA season right now. I guess it's the ideal time to talk about the All-Stars, at least for me because I'm weird. And the only reason I know we're like 20 games in is because I had to Google the NBA standings, because I don't actually watch basketball. But I like talking about them now because there's a chance that certain guys could play better, and certain guys could fall out, and whatever. So we're going to start with the Eastern Conference. Who should be the 5 All-Star starters? There's 2 backcourt guys, 3 frontcourt guys, and while I'm not going to directly say who I think should be coming off the bench because it's too many frickin' names, I will be talking about, a lot of names here so you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself. And so we're going to be starting with the Eastern Conference, which I probably already said. Let's get the 2 starting 5 spots, the obvious ones, out of the way first. Both of them are from the forward positions. One of them is LeBron James. Of course, LeBron has been the mainstay in the Eastern Conference All-Star game for a long time now. LeBron's a beast. His scoring is down a little bit to emphasize more rebounding and assists and allowing Kyrie Irving to shoot the ball more. He's also getting the ball to Kevin Love a bit more, who I will mention in this video as well. I mean, LeBron's a beast. We know what he is. And then the other one is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is averaging 26 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. He's efficient from everywhere. The three-pointer has dipped down a little bit. It's now to around league average at 35%. Hopefully he can just maintain that. He is actually not shooting well from outside in his last 5 games, but here's hoping Jimmy can at least be respectable from outside. But even with that outside shots improvement, he's so effective at getting inside the three-point line and posting up, or just using his physical frame to just outpower guys. Outpower? Overpower. I think that's the correct term. He's just a bully. He's not as big as LeBron, but he's not too far off either. And Jimmy's a beast in what he's doing for the Chicago Bulls. He's attempting 10 free throws a game, which is just stupid. So those are the 2 obvious ones. I think the 3 other ones, I definitely have the names that I have in my head, but I think there's a little bit more wiggle room with them. Let's start with the backcourt. As of right now, one of the starters would be Kyrie Irving. 24 points, 5 assists, 48% from the field, 43% from 3. And one thing I like about Kyrie, and I think the part of his game that's really developed, is he's really good at moving off ball now. And I think that was always something he could do, but he never had the personnel to where the Cavs could do that. Of course, now with LeBron James, it's a different story. And I also think having LeBron on his team and being someone who has the ball in his hands so much, I think Kyrie has really developed his off-ball game. As far as when the ball's in his hands, he's still great. He's still possibly the most entertaining guy in the league when it comes to scoring inside. The type of shots he hits inside the paint, even though he's a shorter guy, it's pretty damn fun to watch. Of course, he'll cross you up if you're not paying attention defensively. So I think Kyrie is one of the backcourt spots as of right now. I think the other one is DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan, he put up 8 straight 30-point games or something to start the season. He's fallen a little bit back down to earth, but last time I checked, he's still around 27 points per game, and his scoring has just been fantastic for the Raptors, but his all-around game's been pretty okay as well. With 5 rebounds and 4 assists while being efficient. I mean, he made Haralabob second-guess himself on Twitter. If you can do that, you've officially made it, so shout out to DeMar. But I do think there are a couple of guys in the backcourt who are lurking behind Kyrie as well as DeMar, so we're going to talk about them now. One of which is Kyle Lowry, DeRozan's teammate. Lowry was having some efficiency problems at the beginning of the season. His last 5 games, you want to see this? 25 points, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 57% from the field, and 58% from 3. Now those are some jacking up the game slider types numbers. We have to imagine those are going to go back down, but if he can maintain his efficiency while putting up 20-something points a game, and the Raptors can linger with the Cavaliers, hey, I don't know, maybe he takes over one of those backcourt spots. I think with Lowry, the thing I like the most about him is his ability to hit tough shots. He's very confident in pulling up for 3 out of the pick and roll, which makes sense. He shoots over 40% from 3, so it's warranted. Lowry is just a damn good player, and I do think he's not far behind DeRozan and Kyrie, but I also think he's on a hot streak at the moment, and I think for his overall season, I don't think he deserves to be a starter just yet, but he's definitely on the team, and depending on how the next 15 games or so go, hey, maybe he could creep up there. The other one is Kemba Walker, who is pretty much the lifeblood of the Charlotte Hornets offense at the moment. 23 points, 5 assists, 48 from the field, 42 from 3. The big thing with Kemba was always the efficiency, because he could put up like 17 points even in like his second season, but he didn't do it in an efficient way, and now he's blown that out of the water. And watching Kemba, it's kind of similar to Kyrie in the sense of like just how fun he is to watch, because with Walker, it's like whenever he gets a head of steam and he goes towards the basket, it almost looks like he's out of control. It seems like he's gonna trip over himself at any moment, but then he just finishes with like some acrobatic finish at the rim, and it's like, oh, this guy's really damn good. Similar to Kyle Lowry, he can also pull up for a three-pointer in the pick and roll. And Kemba's great. I think Charlotte right now, they're 14-10. They're the 3 seed behind the Raptors, although they are like 3.5 games out, so the Raptors are going to have to come down a little bit. The Hornets are going to have to do some more winning for Kemba to really get the starting spot, but I'd say both Kyle Lowry as well as Kemba are lingering in the backcourt discussion right now. Now, of course, those aren't the only backcourt guys that are playing well. I think Isaiah Thomas is doing really well. He's unfortunately hurt right now for the Celtics. His efficiency is a little down, and the Celtics have been inconsistent, so I'd say he's behind them. John Wall has been fantastic doing what we expect him to do. The Wizards suck, however, although they have been looking a little more exciting lately. The same thing can be said for Bradley Beal, who, looking at some of his recent game highlights, he's putting up a lot of points, doing it efficiently, and he's moving off ball really well. There was a game when he barely even had to dribble and he put up like 20-something points because he just knew how to get open, whether it be in transition or in the half court, to get passes from John Wall. But he also has an ability to create his own shot as well. So John Wall and Beal, we got to watch out for them because the Wiz could be beginning to turn this thing around. They could be. They could fall off a cliff as well. Dwayne Wade, he's been really good. His craftiness, his isolation ability, his post-game abilities for the Chicago Bulls have been a bit of a surprise. He's putting up about 20 points. He's hitting threes. He's shooting efficiently from the floor. There's a little bit of a level that drops when you go from like DeRozan to Dwayne Wade. It just kind of is what it is. But D-Wade has still been awesome. Avery Bradley has made a jump this season. He's actually able to create his own shot now. He's grabbing a lot of rebounds for the Celtics. His defense has dipped a little bit. He did strip Russell Westbrook last night in a key moment, but Westbrook also beat him in a more important moment, if you will. So, his defense is a little up and down. It's still pretty damn good, but it is what it is with Bradley. So that's what I say for the backcourt right now. I think it's Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan, but I think Kyle Lowry as well as Kemba are lurking, and maybe we could see an explosion from one of the other guys. Again, the 2 forward spots, LeBron as well as Jimmy Butler, and now the final front court spot. There's definitely a few names for this one. There is Paul George, who I think he's just gotten a short end of the stick because of the team he's on. It's not an ideal fit. Monte Ellis just flat out sucks. Jeff Teague has been a bit disappointing. So as a result, I think Paul George's season has been hampered a little bit by that. That being said, he's still putting up 22 and 7, doing it more efficiently than he has in the past, and he's still a really damn good defensive player. He kind of single-handedly beat the Trailblazers last night in a really weird shootout. And for some reason, the Blazers kept switching Damian Lillard onto him. I mean, come on. So PG's great. Carmelo Anthony is probably a little shade below. The Knicks have done better, but I mean, Melo's less efficient, and he's not as good of a defensive player. There's a center discussion to be had between Hassan Whiteside and Andre Drummond. The Pistons have been better than Miami, but you could argue that Whiteside has been better than Drummond because, I mean, in terms of play styles, they're pretty similar players. They're pretty much always around the basket, whether it be finishing plays, catching alley-oops, grabbing offensive rebounds and putting them back up, and just defending the basket overall. I will say, Whiteside is more intimidating of a rim protector than Drummond is. And also, Whiteside has actually been developing a bit of a 15-foot jumper this season. He's actually taking and making quite a few shots outside of the paint, so that's cool. Drummond has taken a few as well, but Whiteside's hitting legitimate mid-range jumpers this season, so that's cool. And Whiteside's production just has been a little better than Drummond's has overall. There's also Kevin Love, who has gotten more time in the Cavaliers' offense this season. There are moments when they just give him the ball in the low block, and they're just like, hey, Kevin, go to work, which they didn't used to do, which is really cool, as he's putting up 22 and 10, 46 from the field, 40% from 3. If he maintains that and the Cavaliers are the 1 seed, which they should be, he could have a realistic chance at it. But as of right now, the guy I'm going to go with is Giannis of the Milwaukee Bucks. 22 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds, 52% from the field. And Giannis has been pretty much what we thought he was going to be, as just a freak of nature, someone who's too damn tall for his own good. 6'11", having point guard abilities. I mean, if you see this guy grab a rebound, the rest of his team, they just immediately sprint up court, and the defense is pretty much screwed, because if you manage to get the right guy on him to even stop the ball, he can still just overpower them, he can spin around them. Or my favorite thing that Giannis does is when he'll be trying to get to the rim and he's clearly like beat, like his defender's in the right spot, he's doing everything he can, and then Giannis just takes like this really ridiculous long step dribble thing that he can only do because he's 6'11", and he gets around him and he finishes at the rim. It makes no damn sense. So I have to go with Giannis, just his playmaking, his all-around game, what he's doing for Milwaukee. Even if they are only 11 and 11 at the moment, I still think that puts him above Kevin Love or Carmelo Anthony. Team success should definitely be a factor, but when one guy has clearly been the best, you gotta put him in there. Now, there are a few more names. I think Porzingis is also lurking, his ability to run up and down the floor way faster than everybody else, get an open spot to hit an open three-pointer or just a jumper. He can cut to the basket well. With the ball in his hand, he does do the thing where he'll take one step inside and then he'll immediately post up, get the defender reeling a little bit, and then he'll hit a turnaround jumper over him. The thing that's holding Porzingis back right now is they don't give him the damn ball at the end of games. It's like it's the Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony show, which, to be fair, the Knicks have been winning, so maybe that works out, but that's going to hurt Porzingis' chances to make the All-Star team, of course. Jabari Parker is also forcing the issue more offensively for Milwaukee. He was always a guy who could score one-on-one. He's always been a really good cutter. He's shown some post abilities, but he's actually shooting threes now, so that's good. He's making them at 34%. He could still improve a bit, but it's a good sign the direction his scoring is going. Paul Millsap has been his normal self for Atlanta, being a very good defender and being very versatile offensively, whether it be in the post or getting an open mid-range or three-pointer, even though his shooting has been a little down this season. And also his craftiness inside the paint. Millsap's very good, but I think Giannis is just a level above them all right now. Now, if Indiana figures things out, I could see Paul George going on a hell of a run. They're going to have to make some rotation changes, one of which is stop frickin' playing Monte Ellis, get CJ Miles in the starting lineup, a couple other things. But yeah, I think that's the 5 I'm going with in the Eastern Conference. As of right now, Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, Giannis. The fact that Giannis can play center and actually look like a center is stupid, but I do think there are some names who we could see lurk and potentially even get into the lineup depending on how things go over the next couple of weeks.